A flow bench is used to measure the flow rate of air through an object, such as a filter or a cylinder head. It can be used to compare similar items to tell us which flows better, i.e., which one has the least drag. We need to create a known pressure difference across an orifice, which is another name for a hole. The pressure difference that is most commonly used is 28 inches of water, or 1 psi. After adding the test piece, the pressure difference across the combined test piece and orifice will be more than it was with just the orifice. We need to allow air to be drawn in under the orifice to return the pressure difference back to its original value. It is the flow rate of this new air that is what we want to measure, and this is the flow bench that I built to do it. It looks complicated, so let's break it down into its component parts. We'll start with the flow box and deal with the manometer later. The flow box consists of two sections, the main plenum and the measuring plenum. When the main manometer and the orifice are sealed and the adjusting valve is closed, the main plenum must be completely airtight when the vacuum is applied. Any leakage will render our results meaningless. The measuring plenum is used to control the airflow under the test piece and orifice to return the pressure difference to its original value. Here is the actual flow box that I made. This is the inside of the measuring plenum showing the adjusting valve. And here is the hole that allows air to enter the measuring plenum when the adjusting valve is opened. This is the flow bench that I made. Here's the flow box that I explained earlier. The black thing over the orifice is a test piece. This is the manometer setup. This is the main manometer and it comes out of the main plenum. You may notice the extension. This is to prevent fluid being sucked into the plenum. The fluid is distilled water, some vinegar to prevent carbonates, and some food colouring. The tube is open to atmosphere. It is marked with a 0 mark and with a mark 14 inches below it. The tube between these two marks must be vertical. And so must the other side of the loop above the 0 line. This is the measuring manometer, sometimes referred to as the inclined manometer. There's a fluid reservoir. It should have a large bore compared to the tube, so the rise in its level is negligible compared to the drop in the tube. The measuring tube is inclined because the drop to be measured is so small as to be almost invisible if the tube were vertical. Again, the tube is open to atmosphere. The angle of inclination should be determined by experimentation, but is approximately 5 degrees. These markings are in centimeters, but they are just numbers to compare results. We can zero the reading by moving the tube as shown. It's important to know this is not a calibrated flow bench, so its results can't be compared against anybody else's. Before we start, we need to make sure that the orifice plate is properly sealed to the main plenum. The main manometer is zeroed. The inclined manometer is zeroed. The adjusting valve is fully closed and the vacuum valve is fully open. At last we can actually use the flow bench. First, the pre-flight checks. 1. Vacuum valve open. 2. Adjustment valve fully closed. 3. Orifice plate selected. 4. Orifice plate fully sealed. 5. Main manometer zeroed. 6. Inclined manometer zeroed. It's time to switch on the vacuum pump and set the main manometer to a height difference of 28 inches of water or 1 psi. The flow bench is now ready for its first test piece. The first test piece is a copy of a mass air filter screen that I made. You can see how the fluid level has dropped in the main manometer after I placed the screen over the orifice plate. I used the adjusting valve to return the main manometer reading to its original setting of 28 inches. We need to record the orifice plate size and the inclined manometer reading on each test piece. In this case, it's 1.5 centimeters using a 10mm orifice plate. The second test piece was this hexagon screen, and the reading was 1.0 centimeters, again using the 10mm orifice plate. Comparing the two results, we can say that the hexagon screen created less drag and produced the better results.